Hello everyone. These are the goats I'm going to have teaching the class this semester. Just kidding. These are my goats. That is Philip. That is, let's see, which one is that? That's Turkey. He's named that because he was born on Thanksgiving Day. And over there we got Philoctetes, who's coming this way. If you've ever seen the Hercules cartoon, that's Danny DeVito's character's name. And that's Papa Goat and Mama Goat, otherwise known as Arrow and Reba. And they're all interested in me because I have crackers that I'm feeding them. Oh my goodness. So this is my farm where I live. And I just wanted to introduce myself and talk a little bit about the class. So yeah, my name really is Leif Erickson. My father was drunk when he named me, true story. He's been sober since 1980, and he's still sober, so I'm proud of him. But he was drunk in 1971 when I came along. That's how I got that name. Yeah, this is English 101, and I teach all online. But I want you to understand, I think a lot of times people think people's experience with online classes is that there's some absentee professor and some faceless, nameless entity who you just send stuff to and then maybe you get a message from. But let me tell you, I teach from home because I have health problems. I have a doctor's note to teach full-time online. So all of my classes are online, but I really miss teaching in the classroom. So I like staying in touch with my students. I like interacting as much as we can. I miss teaching in the classroom, but I have to teach from home or else I'd have to just be on disability basically. So what I'm saying is I like to be involved. I'm not just a nameless, faceless entity out there somewhere, but I'm somebody who likes to help my students. I love teaching. I love education. I love enlightenment. So keep that in mind. Sometimes people begin their messages with sorry to bother you, but I'm not sitting off in a room somewhere, not, wanting to do this as quickly and painlessly as possible. I love teaching. I love writing. I love teaching writing. And so I just want you to know there's a real person here that likes interacting with students and doesn't want to be just an anonymous profile. So stay in touch with me. Now over there is a goat named Turkey, but this is an actual turkey. He's not big enough yet to be out of this area. Most of our chickens are free range and other birds are free range, but these had to grow up a little more. Got these silkies over here, chickens, another turkey. We haven't named them yet, but I think since one of the goats is named Turkey, we're going to name one of these turkeys Goat. We'll find out sooner or later what we're going to name them. About the book situation, I'm really sorry about that. Turns out it wasn't something I did. I was afraid I messed something up. Not true. They're fixing it. They told me that, on our end, something's wrong. So they've got to fix it, and they're in the process of that. I will not count any assignments as late because of this mix-up. And these first quizzes, the first part of the semester, the quizzes are what we call, they're called formative, and they're not really made to test your knowledge. They're wanting you to interact with the material. So it won't be hard to catch up, and I'm not asking you to guess at anything or get any right answers. It's more just hearing your thoughts and ideas. So hang on about the book situation. Really sorry about all that. Now let's talk about the class content, because I do get questions about that sometimes. Now, as you've noticed, if you've looked over Blackboard, this class is focused on the problems of AI, generative AI, which is like, as obviously you've heard about it by now. You may have used it, you may hate it, you may love it. I welcome all viewpoints. We're approaching it critically. In academia, that means that we are not just accepting what we're told or what we're supposed to think, but we're thinking deeply about this current issue. Now, a lot of times people are like, what does that have to do with writing, though? Why are we doing this? What does that have to do with writing? Well, you know how sometimes a 101 class or any English class will take, like, say, for instance, a novel, and you read the novel, and then you talk about it, and then you write about it. And sometimes there'll be current issues, like just issues in the news or human rights issues or whatever, and they'll study those things, and you write about that. So some points this semester you may be like, is this class, what's this have to do with writing? Because the first half of the class, you're going to be reading a lot about the problems of AI. But that's because in the second half of the semester, you're going to write about one aspect of those problems. That's the whole semester culminates in this paper or letter. You can look, there's different formats you can write. But this idea that you're trying to propose a solution to some problem posed by generative AI. So the first half of the semester, we're learning to synthesize. We'll be practicing critical thinking. We'll be practicing reading other people's ideas and understanding them and responding to those ideas, and lots of things that are preparing you for the second half of the semester when we actually write about the things we've been talking and studying about the first half of the semester. So studies show that if you give people, say, grammar instruction up front, that it's not likely that they're going to go put that in their writing. It's abstract. You get all these rules and regulations about writing, but when you're writing actual, typing or writing, your brain is operating from a different place, and it's just trying to get content out there. It can't just suddenly bring in those rules. It's not the way the brain works, really. Studies show that if you actually have people write and then critique their writing and give them feedback on it, and correct mistakes in there and explain why they were mistakes and how to fix them, that actually is better for writing education. So we're going to be reading and thinking and talking a lot about the problems posed by generative AI. And then the second half of the semester, you're going to write about those problems and receive more specific writing instruction on your drafts and things like that. So feel free to reach out and ask me questions about that. If you've never used AI, if you're not tech savvy, don't worry. I'm not tech savvy either. I'll be 55 in August. I was born when Nixon was president, so I'm not exactly a tech guru, and I'm a humanities guy, but I just got interested in AI because of how much impact it's having on society, good and bad. And so I want to talk about that. And plus, you're going to be asked to have some familiarity with AI when you get in the work world. And instead of just saying, oh, go use it or don't use it or whatever, I decided to address the problems of it and critique them. That way you can practice critical thinking and you can practice writing about it. And that is kind of the main thrust behind the course. I'm glad you're in class, and I'm looking forward to reading what you write, what you think, what your ideas are. I think we're going to have a good time, hopefully. Stay in touch with me, especially if you have problems. Do not suffer in silence, okay? Do not suffer in silence. If you have a problem, if you're falling behind, if you're confused, reach out and ask me. And always check announcements. I do post announcements, and they're not for nothing. And also check your BCTC email regularly, because if I need to reach out to you, that's how I'm going to reach out to you, is through your BCTC. Through your BCTC email. I may have Big Red email you, do my secretarial work for me. I'd appreciate it. Instead of AI, I'm just going to have my Big Red Rooster do it. All right, well, thanks again, and look forward to hearing from you this semester.